Most abandoned places are left to rot without ever having a chance of reuse. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today's episode is dedicated to show you that also forgotten premises can be revived. At least for a while. For more than 1 decade now, there has been an experiment in Eastern Germany which revives the past by means of the present. International artists are creating temporary exhibitions regularly in derelict industrial wastelands. On an interim basis, deserted factory halls are becoming a hotspot for society. Just to fall into oblivion again, only a short time later. By now, this project is widely known and inspired imitators all over the globe. This is the story how we discovered a street art paradise and years later became part of one of the most unique festivals in the whole of Europe. If you enjoy our videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified when we upload new content. Our journey started with this photo. When we saw it, we immediately knew that we simply had to explore this place. Street art has always been fascinating us. And then it was even in combination with our passion for abandoned places. Just perfect.
Und es fügt sich.
Later, in 2016, we then found out the location. Without having any more information or having seen other pictures of this old factory, we hit the road. The roughly 150 kilometers we had to travel to get there were a rather long distance for our standards back then. How cute. However, guys, exploring this site was a unique experience for us. Never before we visited an abandoned property with such a dense atmosphere. On that day, we couldn't help but be amazed constantly. When we arrived back home, we promptly started with our research. As it turned out, these were the relics of a big street art festival that's taking place in industrial wastelands every year. I repeat, every year. So each year an incredible place like this one is created. Which brings us to chapter 2. By the way, this is a quite old video from us. If you want to see the full episode, you can find the link in the info card at the top or in the video description down below. For chapter 2, we are visiting an old building together with a group of local explorers. The event from 2017 had been over for some months now. In the hope of finding a second derelict street art paradise, we were taking a close look around this year's factory. As it turned out, it is possible to visit this place with the permission of the caretaker. So we wanted to find out what was left behind by the street art festival, and it was as great as we hoped it would be. You probably now have numerous questions like, what is this festival all about? Or, how many places like this even exist? Who is creating all that spectacular art? To name only a few. Well, in order to answer all those questions and even more, we bring you back to the year 2017, when the premises were open to the public. Because actually, we were there as visitors back then.
5, 4, 3, 2.
The street art festival is called e-book, which is short for Industriebrachen Umgestaltung, or translated loosely into English, Reshaping of Industrial Wasteland. In 2017 it has already been held for the 12th time. Since 2006, every year in summer, abandoned industrial areas have been beautified by artists. It's a different place every time, but it's always located somewhere in the western part of Saxony in Germany. Mostly these are rather rural areas, which are getting quite popular for a short period of time when the event is happening. As a debut in 2017, the festival was taking place in Chemnitz, which is the biggest city in the whole region. Here, the deserted halls of a former engineering works were picked to be transformed into a temporary art gallery. Around the year 1900, this plant was constructed. For 100 years, different kinds of machines were produced here. While the company was nationalized after Soviet occupation, it was privatized when Germany was reunited again. And yet, it had to declare insolvency only a short time later. So, since 1993, the industrial site in the heart of Chemnitz was in a deep slumber. Artists from the whole world awakened it again in 2017. For 1 week, around 120 international creative folks had time to breathe new life into the forgotten structure. In order to do this, they have sprayed, painted, sawed, screwed, etc. An overwhelming synthesis of the arts arose, which was drawing thousands of art fans and inquiring minds. On 2 festival weekends, which directly followed the Creative Week, the results of the work could be viewed. In addition, there was a festival program rich in variety, with screenings, presentations and artist talks. On a small market, visitors had the chance to purchase the works of the attending artists. Who thinks that street art is only graffiti is seriously mistaken. Also, installations and multimedia are part of it. It is exactly this variety in confined spaces which makes the festival so great in our opinion. But the exhibition in 2017 was also a quite political one. Back to our exploration several months later. At the end of the festival, plenty of creations have vanished. During our visit, we could only find the remnants. And this isn't even really sad, because e-book just wants to be a temporary exhibition. With contemporary urban art, desolateness is supposed to be brought to life again, and so remember the past. With focus on Old Saxon industrial culture, the connection to history, society and architecture is demonstrated. The festival, which takes place during the last 2 weekends in August, is supposed to carry e-book's attitude out into life and to be an inspiration to the masses in regards of the development of the home region. This is a great approach that has found imitators in Europe and the whole world by now. It was clear to us that the next e-book would be mandatory for us again. It was coming back to Chemnitz in 2018, and so were we. If you're interested in exploring this place yourself, we can put you in touch with the caretaker of the building. Just send us a private message on social media and we will provide you with the contact info. For chapter 3 of our journey, we were heading to the ruins of the 13th epoch. More than half a year has passed since we were in the city the last time to explore the previous abandoned street art paradise. As you can see, it is autumn, so this year's event has been over for some time already. We were teaming up again with one of the adventurers from last time. On this day, he was showing us how to get on the property, and this was actually much easier than we thought it would be. In a beautiful autumn atmosphere, we were exploring the huge halls to marvel at different kinds of street art again. Also in 2018, a big factory was redesigned again. The purpose of this plant included the development, production and sale of machines for textile industry. According to the documents, this building complex was constructed in the 1920s and extended for the arms industry sometime later. Exactly as with the factory from the year before, also here business had to be closed after the political wind of change in Germany. Anyways, that year the area was bigger than it was in 2017. There was more space for artists and visitors. While there were 15,000 art enthusiasts exploring the former production halls the year before, it were 18,000 people in 2018. Traditionally, doors were opened again for the masses during the last 2 weekends in August. More than 130 artists from several continents were filling this year's object with colors and life again. Also in 2018, all expectations were surpassed. Far more than 10,000 working hours were contributed to the project. Totally worth it. By then, the first reshaping of industrial wastelands had developed to a worldwide known and prestigious festival for urban arts. Meanwhile, some of the creative people who were part of eBook on a regular basis can make a living off their work. Every year, the artists are focusing on the experiment with genres, materials and techniques. Since historical industrial grounds are used as canvas all the time, artists inevitably have to deal with the past of the factory and its architecture. For us, the results are always intriguing. Not a single event has disappointed us. Again and again, we were amazed and overwhelmed when seeing the works international artists were creating in only 1 week. We became real fans of eBook. It wasn't enough for us to just see the results and what was left behind. We wanted to see the whole process. We wanted to be a part of it. And so, it's time for the final chapter. A former railroad area in Reichenbach, somewhere in western Saxony. It was the 1st of June in 2019. After 2 consecutive years in a big city, the team wanted to return to a more rural site with the festival. On this day, volunteer helpers were cleaning up in order to make the property safe for artists and visitors. And we were right in the middle of it, to get to know the site and the minds behind the event. Already at the beginning of the year, we contacted the team because we wanted to document the whole process of ebook at all costs. And so we made it to become a part of this year's festival. In summer we will drive down there several times to film preparations and of course the creative phase with the artists as well. And when the place will be open to the public during the last 2 weekends in August, we will be there as well. This means you have the chance to meet us. We are very glad to be part of this great project. We can't wait to document and see what kind of street art paradise will be created this year. So if you have any questions about the festival, don't hesitate to post them in the comments. We will spend quite some time together with the team and the artists, and we would be happy to pass along your questions. If somebody had told us where this journey would end when it all began, we would have never believed it. But here we are now, and we're looking forward to a spectacular summer. Next time on Broken Window Theory. Europe's restricted zones are our favorite holiday destinations. As dark tourists, this time the thrill of the forbidden was taking us to off-limit parts in and around Hungary. On a 5-day road trip we were camping at secluded areas at night to bring undisclosed locations to light at sunrise. From vehicle graveyards as we've never seen them before, to historical power plants protected by security, we have infiltrated some of the most fascinating abandoned sites you can imagine. In our new series, completely shot in 4K, we are documenting decay and experience history firsthand in a quality better than ever. Join our journey to Europe's forbidden paradises. Thanks for watching this special episode until the end. We always try to deliver you the best and most unique Urbex content. If you appreciate that, please feel free to support us on Patreon. With an increasing amount of pledges, we are able to improve the quality of this channel even more. Thanks a lot for all your help and keep exploring.